You got to systemize like McDonald's.
Yeah.
So do you want to just explain? I mean, I know we've spoken about McDonald's, but what does that mean?
Yeah, it's this search for perfection.
Right.
And it's the business owner who oftentimes, because they're a visual and a creative, oftentimes they can see what the end result looks like. You were just talking about it before where, you know, there's the business as it is running now, but then they think about the business that how they want it to operate. And it's the bridging of the gap that a lot of business owners really struggle with, because they see this over here as the perfection, so they try and get it like this over here, which means they're trying to make systems just right. And one thing that happens when that happens also, they're oftentimes looking at a very micro level in the business, and they might go, oh, well, let's work on our sales script because I want to increase conversion. But business is a collection of systems, and you can pull a lever at one point and it'll have an impact down here. So you actually want to get a baseline down, and then you need key metrics like a dashboard to have visibility on what's going on in the business. And the key to get a baseline working is consistency. So you just get, without trying to make things perfect, capture what's happening right now inside the business, and then at least try and get it consistently happening. Because with that consistency, then your numbers actually mean something. I remember I was working with another company, Absolute Immigration, Jamie Lingham, and we were doing some work together. And when we first started and he was going through the systemology process, the way he came about this was, a few team members started going on holiday. So he got sucked back into the operations, and then he started to realize different team members were doing things in their own way. There was no consistency. So I said to him, if there's no consistency, your metrics, your numbers won't really mean anything, because you can't make a change and then see that change across the board. So I said, let's capture what's happening, get a dashboard in place, and then we start to improve. Now, if I come back to the example of sales, if people don't get the complete visibility of a business, what they end up doing is they optimize to improve the conversion rate. They might double their conversion rate, and they might do that by over-promising and making it incredibly difficult for your operations team to deliver. So if you were just looking at sales, yes, you might dramatically improve your conversion rate, but it's going to make your operations team struggle. You'll get, then the clients won't be happy.
Issues,
that starts to rise, and then that hurts your repeat business. So if you weren't looking at the metrics, just making small changes and trying to perfect little things without really giving respect to the business as a whole, you'll come unstuck. So that's why I leave the optimization in this systemology process. Optimization is actually the final stage in the process. So don't try and make it perfect to start with. Capture what you're doing. Let's get some consistency. You'll even just get improvements by shining a light on the way things are getting done. And then getting team members to all follow the same process. And that comes back to that idea we touched on before about McDonald's. You don't start optimizing or building a business like
it's
McDonald's.
It's a 60-year history, as you rightly point out, right? But if you watch the movie The Founder or whatever it was, you get insight into that. It started little with the concept of systems. It wasn't just, you can't do that, but we can learn from McDonald's.
I'm solving a very specific problem for a very specific person. You have target audience that is clear, you know what you're selling and who you're selling it to, and you're now at a point where this is kind of working. My dream is to free all business owners worldwide from the daily operations of running their business. Then once the business gets to a certain size, that's when it needs to be handed over to someone to grow it through to the next level. Something that I've really recognized, it's this systems component, and it's so important, and it is the answer, the secret to break through to that next stage.